Hey, yo, what's up, creepers and geekers? It's Chris the Atari Creep here, and today we're going to be discussing a simple topic. Oh, wait a minute, that's not me. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm sure you've seen pictures of this guy here. His name's Alucard. I just recently picked him up because I needed something to pick me up. And he's a ball python, if you don't know anything about snakes. I've had a couple of corn snakes in the past, and exes have taken them, or I've had to get rid of them for one reason or the other. But this is my new buddy, and since I was putting new water in his dish, and I figured I'd pull him out and let you meet him. Let's see if he'll strike at the camera. Eat the camera. Eat the camera. No, he won't. Wednesday is his feeding day. Maybe you'll get to see that. So let me just put him back in his home so we can discuss what we're going to talk about here. Alright, there you go, buddy. Oh, I know. He likes to be held because the warmth. He loves the warmth of the hand. So, well, since you're not going to see me in frame, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about Heavy Sixer Atari VCS 2600. However you want to call it, I'm going to dispel all myths and give you fact. Okay? There's a whole bunch of split camps on this one topic alone. So, hopefully I can do this topic justice. And I assure you everything I say is going to be truth. Okay? Now, what most people refer to when they call a heavy sixer is in 1977 when Atari first came out with what they call the VCS, Video Computer System. It was made in Sunnyvale, California, okay? And which made it an American product, which is awesome. And after 77 happened, they decided to outsource it to another company, I believe Taiwan or Hong Kong. I think it was Taiwan. And then they stopped becoming Heavy Sixer. There's a couple of things that make them the Heavy Sixer. And it's not just aesthetic. But let's just go over this, and I'm calling this video A Heavy Sixer versus the Heavy Sixer because there is some truth to both statements. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be well educated and you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm even talking about. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to attempt to move this camera down to where the Heavy Sixers and the other stuff is. And let's get it going. So let me pause this real quick so I can get a good view. Okay, what you see in front of you, most people refer to as the Heavy Sixer. Things to note about it. Now let me come around to the front. And I don't really have a stick or anything here I can point things out with. But the most important things to note are the thickness of the rails here, okay? Especially here in the top. They're real thick. They're probably a good half-inch thickness. The back is not completely different. It's still the same setup, but you'll notice there's still a lot of plastic here. Let me check. Okay, good. I am in frame. There's a lot of plastic still here. There's a lot of plastic in this thing. I could probably, well, I'm not going to, but I could probably throw this thing and it would do well. Yes, you'll note there's a few issues with it. This works just fine. I do have a donor board for this, so I'm going to be repairing it soon. And that's that. Now, when this first came out, it was called the Video Computer System. And this is where the Heavy Sixer controversy begins, okay? I'm going to try to do this while behind the camera so I can see if I'm in frame or not. If this takes focus, you'll notice right up here it says Sunnyvale, California, okay? Here's the deal. If it says Sunnyvale, California, and the serial number is a 6-digit or less, it's a Heavy Sixer, okay? And that's pretty much it. The rest of them will say Taiwan and what have you. So let me move this one aside. I'll give you an example of what is not a heavy sixer. Now, yes, this one has no guts in it, but it was easier just to access. Now, if you look at this bad boy, let me make sure it's in frame. Center it a little bit better so I look professional. That's as good as it's going to get. You notice that the rails are a lot thinner, especially right here, okay? And let me put this on top of this one. You'll notice how this has more kind of a round, you know, and this is more jot. It just does its own thing. Yes, this is a Sears version, so the wood grain is going to be different, but that doesn't matter shit. Okay, it still has the 6 switches in the front, cartridge port, of course, in here, and in the back, you'll see that it's similar, but it doesn't have quite as much plastic as this other one does. If I can just get my hands out of the way. Alright. So, I don't know how good that's showing, but either way, you get the idea. Now, here's where the controversy begins. If you look at the label on this one here, and of course this has to be a metallic one, so with the lighting's probably going to make it blur. You notice this one, well, of course this one says made for Atari. Atari actually manufactured this one, but it's Taiwan for Sears and Roebuck. If this was a regular, you know, wood grain Atari 6-switcher, it would say manufactured for Atari in Taiwan. Okay? And you'll notice the serial number is quite larger. Okay? Anything over 6 digits, 6 characters, I should say, it's not a heavy sixer. Okay? So that's basically what it is. Now, why is it called the heavy sixer? Well, there's 2 reasons. One, because obviously there's a lot more plastic involved in this thing. It's a lot thicker. Secondly, inside there's a shielding. It's right here over the main chips, okay? And they decided to go with a real thick metal. I don't know what kind of metal. It could be aluminum, could be steel, you know, it could be something from a spacecraft from another planet. I honestly don't know. But it's a real thick, heavy piece of metal. And that's what makes these significantly heavier, okay? So now that you know what heavy sixer is all about, I'm calling this one the heavy sixer, as in this is creme de la creme. Now, this is where controversy kicks in. And a lot of people have a lot of different views on this, okay? If you see an Atari with this kind of plastic molding, has a little bit more weight to it than it probably should, and the bottom label says Sunnyvale, California, guess what? That is also a heavy sixer. That is what I'm going to call a heavy sixer, versus this one being the heavy sixer. Sometime in 1977, they decided to revamp the aesthetics of the Atari, and I honestly think this one looks a lot better, even with the regular Atari aesthetics. You know, it's slick, it looks cool. Not that the heavy sixer isn't a sexy piece of machinery, but they decided to revamp it and try it out for a while before they sent it over to the Taiwanese to work on it. And there are a handful of ones that are like this that float around that are heavy sixers. I actually had one at one point and I sold it because I wanted a true heavy sixer. The reason I would still consider the ones that look like this a heavy sixer is because, one, it's still using the same heavy components inside, and 2, it was made in Sunnyvale, California. That is it. Heavy components, Sunnyvale, California manufacturing, it's heavy sixer. Now, is it the heavy sixer? No. But it could be a heavy sixer. And that's it. And guess what? There are 4. Was my hand in frame there? 4. There are 4 heavy sixers. There is this one, and then there is the one with the regular Atari aesthetics that look like this. There is a Sears Telegames one that looks like this, but with the Heavy Sixer aesthetics. And then there's Heavy Sixers that look like this for Sears Telegames. So that's, I hope that fucking made sense to you at all. Let me try to say it again. Both the Sears Telegames and the regular Atari 2600 had this look, okay? Both the Atari 2600 and Sears both Ataris and the Sears Telegames had this look also as Heavy Sixers. So, if I can find a picture of that Heavy Sixer, and I'll even show you the. If I find that picture, I'll be able to show you that it has a Sunnyvale sticker on the bottom. Just to kind of prove that I'm right. But is it a Heavy Sixer because it's like this? Sure, why not? But it is not the Heavy Sixer. If you want to collect a true Heavy Sixer, this is the motherfucker that you want right here. Okay? This thing is built to last. It's a beast. Not that the rest of them aren't. But that thing's a beast, and it's sexy, and I love having it in my collection. I got it for Christmas this year. I would like to thank Mrs. Creep very much. I love you so much, baby. And my friend Justin, who gave her a really good deal on it. I love you too, baby. And that is it. So, there's more. Sorry. To have a true Heavy Sixer collection, there are two more items you need to worry about. Controllers. Okay. If you notice on this controller, this is obviously just a standard 2600 controller. There's a word right there. It says the top, because people are stupid, I guess. You know, they didn't know they had to hold it like this, you know. If it does not have that word there, and this is a little heavier, believe it or not, because they use a slightly different configuration inside, it's a double board, then you get yourself a Heavy Sixer controller. And if any of you out there have one, working or not, and you don't want it, get a hold of me. I want it just to add to this. They also had paddles that were considered Heavy Sixer. There was nothing really different about those. With the exception of where it said paddles, the Atari logo was placed on it. And so if you had a pair of paddles that don't just have the tennis rackets on it, and it has the Atari logo, those came with the original Heavy Sixer. And, well, to complete the entire package, let me find it. La 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 la. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. I don't know what the hell I did with it. Where did it go? Alright, well, it came with Combat. I have no idea where I put it. But they came with Combat with the end label that had the 01 on it. So, you got this. You got the controller with the no word top on it. You have the paddles that have the Atari logo. And you have the Combat that says 01 before the title on the end label. And you have a complete collection of Heavy Sixer. Now, here's the question of the day. Do you want one of these? Well, if you're an Atari geek like me, yeah, of course you do. Is it practical? Probably not. I wouldn't recommend, you just going out and buying one of these if you want to experience Atari. In fact, I plan on doing a video. Oh, God, I say that so much. I do plan on making a video on, if you're new in the market to Atari, the best ways to get into it so you're not screwed. Because this stuff's 30-something years old, and it fails. And if you didn't grow up with it, you don't know what you're doing with it. Okay, so I'll do a video on just that, especially on how to hook them up. A lot of people get all confused about that crap, but it's really not as hard as you think. It's a lot simpler than HDMIs and composite component and fucking whatever else that they can put in there. So that is it, gentlemen and lady. I'm sure there's at least one chick watching this, besides my lady. And you like this? You like this cup? Yeah, I got this at a Christmas party for the job I don't have anymore. And yeah, I just took it home. Fuck it, it said Pepsi, and I like Pepsi, but I got Mountain Dew in it right now. So I hope this was informative. If you disagree with me at all on any of this, well, guess what? Fuck you, you're wrong. And if you did take something away from this, great. You know, that's the whole point of this. If there's something you think I missed, by all means, you know, put it in the comments below. That's it. The only thing I'd like to say right now is I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. And that's it. This is the Atari Creep signing out, saying bye-bye. My baby, my baby, my baby. Oh, there's the combat. Oh, hey, did you know I spent $1 on this?